Larry Elder is apparently, we haven't talked about this at all, but a Republican presidential candidate right now. And if you don't remember, he was the challenger, the front runner to go against Gavin Newsom in the recall election, and Gavin Newsom won comfortably. But he is a radio personality, a right-winger, and he didn't make the debate stage. And he was very unhappy. And apparently he's going to sue alongside the billionaire Republican presidential candidate Perry Johnson, the RNC, for not letting them on the stage, I guess. This is from The Hill. Elder Johnson planning to sue RNC after failing to make first primary debate. And I will show you Larry Elder outside of, I think this was in Milwaukee, outside the debate, protesting.
If by 2 o'clock I am not determined to be up on that stage, we're going to file this complaint with the FEC that could cause the RNC to incur a fine of $100 million. And by the way, could also cause Fox News to incur a $100 million fine because they would be making an in-kind contribution to these 8 people to the detriment of Larry Elder. So they have until 2 o'clock in order to respond to our threat to file a complaint with the FEC. We're in consultations with the general counsel, with Fox News, with the general counsel, with the RNC. We're in discussions with Ronna McDaniel and with the debate czar, David Bossie. We're hoping cooler heads will prevail, so I don't need to resort to this. We also still have at the back pocket the possibility of filing a lawsuit, but I don't believe it's going to get to that. I believe that cooler heads will prevail.
So this was before he was officially not let on the stage, but he knew he wasn't going to be. And so he was saying, if I'm not let on today, which he wasn't, then he's going to do all these different things.
As I mentioned earlier, Fox News is a publicly held corporation. They have a fiduciary obligation to avoid a possible unnecessary expense. This is an unnecessary expense. I just believe the fix is in for Ron DeSantis. I believe the RNC does not want Trump to be the nominee, does not want anybody to take any fire from Ron DeSantis. I could be wrong about that. I also believe that they're afraid of Larry Elder. Why? Because Elder's talking about things the others are afraid to talk about for fear they'll be called racist.
They're afraid of Larry Elder. Sorry, someone walked behind him with a sign that said, "Where's Hunter Biden?" Why, you creep? Why do you want to know where a person is? Just leave him alone. Oh, so bizarre. Where's Hunter Biden? Okay. So the RNC is going to be fine. They get to make the rules. He didn't qualify. He was mad because a Rasmussen poll didn't clear because they don't accept the poll based on the conflict of interest of it being a Trump-backed, Trump-funded, or associated, or some conflict of interest. They get to choose which polls they accept. It's their process. They get to choose who qualifies. So he didn't qualify. The RNC will be fine. But what was striking me watching that clip was, you know, when you feel like what you're saying matters and is being heard, and then at some point you realize that it wasn't, and it kind of hurts. He's going to have that realization eventually, where in that moment he's so angry and it's the center of the world, and then he realizes in the grand scheme of the political conversation, just no one is even, I mean, we're covering it here, but no one's really paying attention. And he didn't even qualify for the debate. Sorry, that's just, sometimes it goes that way. Your attempt to get more attention for your bad views didn't work. Sorry. And what it reminded me of was one time, this is sort of embarrassing, but to my credit, I was, in my defense, I should say, I was mad about something, so I had a lot to rant about in the moment. One time I was on the phone with a friend, and I had my AirPods in, okay? And you know how it'll give you the warnings that the AirPods are getting low battery. And in case anyone doesn't know, wireless headphones is what AirPods are. Everyone knows that, right? But once it actually turns off, it just disconnects from the phone. It'll give you warnings, but it'll just disconnect eventually, just boom. And so you can't really tell if you're the one talking in the middle of a call. And so I was on the phone with someone, walking around, cleaning my room as I was talking, and I was upset about something, not at them, but just something in general. And so I was ranting and ranting and ranting. And at some point in the middle of the rant, my phone had disconnected from my headphones because my headphones had died. And so I had headphones in my ears and I was talking, but there was no one listening. And eventually I noticed after far too long of talking uninterrupted and ranting about what I was ranting about. And so I went back to the phone. I called the person back, and they had hung up a while ago. And I felt so embarrassed, even though no one saw it, because they didn't know that I kept going for so long. I told them, but and they kind of knew because I didn't call them back for a while. But it was that horrible feeling where I realized in the privacy of my own room that I was talking and felt like what I was saying was so significant that it needed to be heard, but it wasn't being heard. And it was embarrassing, and it hurt my feelings for myself, even though, again, no one was watching me. No one knew necessarily. And that's what's going on with Larry Elder. The AirPods are in his ears, but no one's listening. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a part of what makes this show possible, plus get access to the full video version of the show hours before all the clips are able to be uploaded to the YouTube channel, plus get the bonus show on the weekends, you can do so by going to lukebeasleyshow.com/membership. That's lukebeasleyshow.com/membership, and there's a link in the description.